being completely honest and accountable, which is what this is for, this video. Me being accountable. Starting Friday started off real bad. I was not a gentleman at all. I was running my mouth. I was cursing, excessive cursing, drinking, smoking. It was almost like a week of like changing over and reprogramming to be like proper took its toll, and like the devil wanted to get out. I mean, I wasn't the devil. I'm never the devil, but to me, my standards, I wasn't a proper gentleman. And like even in the course of the week, I would say I was really productive 4 out of 7 days, and at most productive, I don't know, 5 out of 7. But it's the whole, it's just the whole, from financially to, I mean, music-wise, writing on the blog, developing the website, you know, making content, which is merely just me being accountable, like all that stuff is, I mean, could I say I'm proud of the last 3 days? No. But before that, could I be proud of the 4 days before that? Yeah. I mean, even today I'll probably be a little bit more productive just because it's Sunday. And should I have some time off? Like, yeah, absolutely. But it's almost like, I mean, not waste time. I appreciate how I spent my time. But, man, I feel like I fell off hard for like 2 whole days. For like 48 hours. I was incapable of being that guy, you know? And I mean, in terms of consistency and persistence and reaching your goals, you know, if we're talking about pride being, you know, our own, how we feel about our achievements and the things that we've done and our character development, how do I feel about my development and my achievements this week? C+. Am I hard on myself? Absolutely. But I don't know, I almost feel like there's no room for error anymore at my age. I used to feel like I had so much time and room for error, and I just don't feel like that anymore. So stuff bothers me a bit more now. Like when I don't do good at something, it bothers me because I'm like, do I have any time to not be doing good ever? So, and I feel like I'm rambling now on this post, but this is about accountability for me. And I'm going to try to do these accountability posts like once a week because I think it's important for me to also put out there that I'm not doing so well, either mentally or physically or spiritually or whatever it might be. I just feel like there's no room for error anymore. There's no room for patty cake. There's no room for chilling. But I also... there's not the keeping up with the Joneses. There's just the, you know, if I were to put myself on a scale of everyone in America, how well do I think I'm doing? You know, could I be doing better? Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like my circle is people that I have to strive to catch up to, and that's part of it. So this week was okay, I guess. It was just like a C+. But for 5 days next week, this is the challenge also now. For 5 days next week, 5 days, let's, you know, no downtime. We're working for 5 whole days. We go to work, and then when we come home, we work on our stuff for a few hours. And then obviously you're getting ready for bed and for the workout next day, maybe prepping some meals and cleaning up around the house. But Monday through Friday this week should be all work, no play. And then, you know, Saturday and Sunday we'll enjoy ourselves. I think I have to put some time in, so maybe we will have some time Friday, maybe But getting to Saturday mornings hasn't been like great. Like working Saturday mornings. So I don't know. I'll try to figure that out. Anyway, yeah, this was just me being accountable. There's no real other way to put it. So anyway, maybe we'll definitely have another video next Sunday, and we'll hopefully you guys have a good week. I'm going to try and get after this week, and we'll see if we can make these dreams come true. All right, so this part is something that I never do, never have done in any of my videos. I always try to curate content, and I'm just not great at that. I think it's in our like rawest moments that we realize the best things, and I found myself preparing to try to curate content, and that's not what this part of my life, this channel, is not about necessarily the most curated content. This is about my journey to become proper and try to kind of gain some of that humanity that I feel like we've all kind of lost. The sense of pride, of nobleness, of, you know, doing things the right way because the right way is appreciated and because you should. Like those things, especially in me, like we can just kind of be a certain way nowadays. And anyway, this started obviously several hours ago in the car, and I was making some food, and I don't know if I'm the only guy who eats like this sometimes, most times, which I'm stopping now with this proper gentleman thing. You know, we just grab whatever and we eat it, and then we, you know, throw it back in the fridge. And I found myself looking at this dinette set that had all this mail on it and all this stuff on it. And, you know, it was mostly cleared off, but I don't know, something hit me that the table wasn't clean. And that I couldn't just eat out of these containers. I had to put it on a plate and like sit down and prepare to eat, and not just eat like some, you know, Neanderthal. That's what we're trying not to be, right? And as I started cleaning and putting things on the plate and putting things back in the fridge, I realized right then and there I need to stop washing dishes the way that I've been washing dishes the entire time, which is, you know, you make some hot water, you throw everything in there, and you come back and clean it. It's just, when I think about it now, it makes no sense why I would ever do things that way. And it actually made me sad. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And there's this real sense of imbalance that I've always had, and I could never really pinpoint it. But only now has it been hitting me that this search for properness and being rational is the best way to be balanced. And you know, I know there's a lot of talk of dopamine and all this serotonin and the right blend of vegetables and juices and yoga and chanting and church and all those things. Oh man, that's so tough. And this search to be a proper gentleman is like it's starting to kind of uncover some stuff, and not like super bad, but when you put it all together, and for me it's 40 years. I have 40 years of information, and it's almost like with laser focus now on what the next 40, like what I want the next 40, hopefully, 80 to look like. A third of the way through is a blessing, right? Halfway through is like, wow, we don't have crazy amounts of time here. When you think about going from boyhood to manhood, and like what that means, okay, so I had to take a second because it really just kind of hit me how, a lot of times in life as men, we may be a certain age, or we may look a certain way, but I think that inner boyishness kind of never really goes away, and you attract people when you're in that state that everybody's the same around you. And when I think about a real man, like a proper gentleman, what I really think about is the work required to be that man, and the daily dedication to the minute details that would otherwise go overlooked, and accumulate into what could be a problem later. But there's this naturalness to it that, while he does feel, there is a sense of devotion to just that code. And I found myself cleaning my house before I sat down to eat. Like cleaning my kitchen area, getting all the dishes done immediately, like actually like doing them in hot water. I would have to mix water twice. I just don't understand why that ever made sense. But when I think about everything in my life, the way that I've done things, the way I've approached work, the way I've approached my relationships, people call me into a game. It's not about the extra stuff. The proper gentleman. This channel is about me being honest about my journey from really turning my inner side from boy to man, and the understanding the things that I have to let go of, what's required of me as a person. I don't believe that boyishness can be there at all. I think that time is done, and I realize what this means for me emotionally, spiritually, my perception, all of that changes, and that's what this discovery will be about. So it's tough to think about those times being over, and how I view the world, and how I approach the world, and how I interact with the world as this innocent boy, even at like 5%, you have to do things as a proper gentleman would do things in all things. Put your food on a plate. Make sure your table is clean, no mail on it, no crap on it. Make sure it's wiped down. Make sure your dishes are done before you eat, so that the only thing you have to wash is the utensils and the plate. The rest of the food is already back in the fridge. You're not eating it out of a container. You sit there, you chew your food properly, you put your phone down. It's like, it's only occurring to me now the way that a proper gentleman would be, and that's just like the most balanced thing ever. And while like Denzel Washington in Equalizer was a little bit extreme, same with Ben Affleck in The Accountant, right? Like, I think there's a balanced nature to cleanliness that we don't really respect as single men. The gentlemanly thing, and what's required of me is different. You know, each guy in this world, there are different things that are required of different men. And I've never lived up to my own expectations, ever. Never. I'll say never. There's things that I've been proud of, but not like any one thing that I've been like, that was worth it. And I think at the end of whatever this is, my growing up process, from really just like, existing and interacting with how I know, to like really taking on, a code that I've never chosen to really adhere to. And so this week we'll approach it with that mindset, and we'll check in after that. I think that's probably when I'll do the podcast episode, something like Wednesday. I'll check in. So the podcast will be on Wednesday. And then we'll have another video at the end of the week. Maybe a couple of shorts here and there. Alright. Till next time, I guess.